I still want to do a quick post game because that was an amazing, amazing debut for Maven.
Yeah.
That
man.
was like, because the spotlight was very much on Delmain and Maven for this particular run, and I really liked that. I thought that they both were really great at what they did, right? With Delmain being the information person, and with Maven being the fuck you with a ladle, just like a ball of death rolling around the goddamn battlefield.
I do find it rather thematically appropriate that you were walking into this archfae's hut with a giant ladle made of iron. It's a little
yeah,
I'm sure fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine that I'm bringing cold iron into.
It might not be cold iron. It might be like hot iron. So
It's fine.
I don't know. Is it cold iron, Jen?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in a pot of soup right now, so.
I think it has something to do with how it's shaped, right? I don't remember.
yeah,
Cold iron refers to iron that has not been shaped by a forge.
Ah, so
It's
it would not
definitely
count as that.
forged.
Yeah.
star iron.
So yeah, I really enjoyed having the two new player characters really shine. That was really great. But we still got some great stuff out of Charlotte and Calder as well, especially in that fight. Which, by the way, totally random. I did not in any way prepare for that fight at all. That's why it took me so long to set things up. Like, it went right to the table, and it just happened to hand us a story, right? Which ended up working out really well.
I'm going to be sharing the success of the grease tactic against the werewolves with all of the dwarves. So now so that will just enter standard routine for how to fight them. Because that was unusually effective.
It really was.
Grease is an incredible spell, like it always has been.
Yeah.
Fucking with the terrain.
But what we didn't realize was that right, their saves. Their deck save isn't that great.
Nah. Their con saves weren't that great either.
Yeah, and so that's hilarious.
That was hilarious. That was probably one of the funniest. The sound effects in my head are beautiful.
And Grease is a level also it's pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Looney Tune shenanigans going on in our corner, and then Maven was just mowing down motherfuckers in the other corner.
I was like, either there's a metal track playing in the background, or like a metal cover of some wholesome like cooking song, or it's just the sound from like I think it's Donkey Kong with the hammer where Jumpman gets the hammer.
Oh no, definitely some sort of Norwegian death metal version of some cute song.
Yeah.
And Delmain being like this immovable, like unhittable target as well. I feel like we've got a good balance of unstoppable force in Calder and Maven versus immovable object in Delmain and Charlotte, except you're working together, which is why nothing can stand against you.
We'll see how that works when we fight something else, but werewolves, like as a baseline thing that we know we can fight, good. We have a good chemistry here.
Well, I like to figuring out the new chemistry of this group, because we had Maven, who doesn't really know anyone here. We've got the reunited brothers who have been apart for 14, 15 years?
Close to about 20 now, actually.
Yeah, and then
it's a very long time to not really know each other.
Yeah.
It's been longer for Dell, hasn't it?
Like we had the most positive relationship of a chain of bad relationships.
Yeah, and for Dell, it's proportionately even longer because everything timeline-wise is wibbly wobbly, proportionately weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like Dell. Spoilers to the audience is a Time Lord, so like time is an illusion.
I'm
Can't
curious
go back.
as to what Dell was thinking once it became obvious that something was going wrong with Charlotte, right? That this wasn't just your usual post-combat, like, laughing because you're alive. I'm curious what what was going through his head at that point.
Yeah.
Well, he fucking abjured the extra planner. Like, he's doing his job. So, like, I don't think he believes that she made some fucking choices, that this might have been, like, something externally imposed, which it is, technically, as the person who wrote the Patreon. It is technically externally imposed. But it's one of those, like, there was the possibility that if like Charlotte failed the save, like, for all we know, that Charlotte would have awkwardly spider crawled away, which would have been hilarious. Like in the creepy way, where, like,
No, it's creepy. It's definitely creepy in my head. Yes.
I do still have spider climb on her spell list.
why it's funny. Like, Dell as a character is all about protecting the group and warding against, like, outside influences, but it's hard for, like, he doesn't fully know if and what outside influences are already here. And that's what he's, like, trying to, like, ascertain, and is currently in the process of finding out. Like, he knows where Calder is, and which is, like, at the 80% mark on a bell curve of his slippery ass slope.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know where Charlotte is on that, but there's definitely something there. Like, I feel he also has a general vibe of most wizards have a familiar that is extraplanar in nature already.
Yeah.
And that
is more.
Yeah. The fact that, like, there's a familiar involved, that's kind of sort of normal for him, because his normal team has the wizard in it, and it's like
Familiars are kind of chump change.
Familiars are like you don't see familiars walking around making big swings, right?
Not normally. No.
Not normally. On average, your average familiar isn't gonna be walking around being like, and now I will suck this entire realm into the 9 hells.
Well, also, I don't think normal familiars don't get abjured by, because they're not actually outsiders, right? Normal familiars are just created with magic, I think.
No, normal familiars, they are either a celestial, a fiend, or a fae.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in any case, it would happen anyway. Gotcha.
But it's like, because Abjure the Extraplanar just it's all of them. It's one of those, like, yes, and also the familiar ran away. That's normal.
Yeah.
That's
the
basic.
It was
shit.
the other thing that Delmain's like, all right, I'm gonna keep that on my radar.
Like, yeah, because it's one of those, like, if on a scale of, like, 1 to 10, where 10 is like, now it's like, it's so far past the problem you should have dealt with it when it was an 8. Familiars are like a 2.
Yeah.
It's like, that's fine. You add 2 more familiars, now it's a 3. I'm
curious, because Dell dealt with it immediately, but I'm very curious what Calder and Maven think that laughing fit was.
Maven is quite concerned that perhaps there's something emotionally that needs to be helped with Charlotte, that maybe she's got some trauma that needs to be dealt with in a motherly manner.
Okay, I like
that. That's her entire experience.
I think Calder is concerned, but, like, the event itself was disturbing, but a little part of the back of his mind is gnawing at him, like it's something that he's not remembering, which is, it sounds familiar to what, to lore, but he hasn't made that connection yet.
Yeah.
Lore never started laughing, though.
But Lore enjoyed the slaughter.
Yeah, and Lore had a hard time coming out of combat mode.
So like it's reminding
wasn't
Calder of that, but Calder
completely
hasn't made that
insane.
connection yet. It's just sort of gnawing at the back of his consciousness.
I think that
Vaguely
with
familiar.
Calder, I think with Calder, you're the only one with really any experience or relationship with Charlotte. And so you would remember Charlotte not having that reaction ever before.
Yeah.
Well, and
So
he's
this
asked.
would definitely be weird, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Calder and Charlotte have talked about it. Calder knows that she's a warlock now, and knows that her patron is not a devil or a demon. But that's all Calder knows about that.
Also, not a nice person. I think we should go ahead and do our last little segment. So again, folks who are watching, I know it's not usual that we pre-record the post-show, but given the amount of explosions that are probably happening right now live as you're watching this, I figure this was the best way to go. But if you have any last-minute questions, please do go ahead and ask them, and we will answer them, those of us who are in chat at the very least. So let's go ahead and go around and do our last little segment where I ask what was your favorite part, or what was a part that you had particular fun with. And what is a player character you want to give inspiration that they're not going to use to? We'll go ahead and start with, let's go ahead and start with Jeff.
I loved the little tag team operation I had with Charlotte there at that fight. The just 2 level 1 spells to just ruin the days of several werewolves is just feels good.
Yeah, Grease is an incredible spell. It is so good.
And I'm happy that my little Pokemon got to be helpful.
I mean, those are still there. They last until dawn.
They
last
last
until dawn.
until dawn, so they're just hanging out. So, like, that's what I say. There'll be introductions. They're like they'll participate at dinner. They behave. They're docile.
And player character that you want to give a shout out to?
I think I want to. Because I know it's going to happen. I do like Maven is great. I'm loving it already. I love the disapproving mom barbarian as a concept. That's hilarious, and also weirdly effective because you're choosing a barbarian subclass I've not seen in action before. So that's great.
We worked actually pretty hard, me and Rob, about going through and making sure that the things that are on her sheet, since I was making her as, a level 11, and so everything that's going on her sheet is stuff that I had to figure out, as opposed to the natural evolution of Kretha with Maven. I actually had to really think about it. So we tried to make sure about what was going to be on her sheet and how it would be with her background, her motivations, her character, and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been actually quite giggling about the moms, which we didn't get a chance to really talk about. The moms would have been attacking things too. We didn't do that, did we, Rob? We forgot about
did.
The moms.
That's part of what happens. Like when you attack someone, anyone other
That's
than
where all that extra damage is coming from as well. They're also
they are a defensive force that help you and your party. Basically, what they do is they shuttle the enemy to you, and if they go after anyone else, those moms will protect those other people. They don't do damage directly, but they will protect your allies essentially. Yeah.
So yeah, the moms. I've been giggling about the moms. I've been giggling about the. I wish I could have really I kind of got like just a prim British accent, but like originally she was supposed to have a really nice like Irish accent, and I'd been practicing, but
it can come over time.
Okay. You're still in prototype mode. I'm sure you'll find your footing with it.
Echo had a cowboy accent the first time he came out.
That's just me saying y'all. That's not an accent. That's a
I know.
word choice.
I'm an adult. I use y'all. It's fine.
It's very inclusive.
I was raised by Southerners, and I was born in Texas, so that's why I say y'all.
But Jen, it takes like actual professional.
Yeah, I guess I've just been
to
spoiled
manage
by
to
Kretha.
maintain an Irish accent with their D&D characters for more than 12 seconds. So like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've just been spoiled by Kretha.
So
She had
Jeff,
a
your
voice
Jeff,
that
your pick is Jen, quite obviously.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I had a lot of fun with the Charlotte and Calder tag team of Magic back in action.
Speaking of Charlotte, Gail, what was something you had particular fun with? What's a player character you want to shout out?
Oh man, there was a lot of different fun elements to this. I think I had the most fun with bringing in two more familiars and having them do weird shit, and just having Charlotte be this kind of oddball. And I'm very curious how that's going to keep playing into things. Like, now Delmain knows. Now, we're getting closer to the Baba Yaga hut, and like I'm looking forward to seeing how all of her weird eccentricities play into things. And then I have to give my shout out to, I think, to Del. He and thus to M, because he's such a fascinating character in that we don't know a whole lot about him quite yet, like personality-wise. And so I'm liking seeing the peaks of it coming through, like when he was talking to the fence and referencing an old thing and being casual, but still kind of respectful, but still kind of not completely deferential. And so it's been lovely to see Del's personality coming through in these moments, getting to see the shape of him more. And so I'm going to give the shout out there.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how both Charlotte and Delmain develop as we go forward. It's going to be great. M, something you had particular fun with, a player character you want to shout out?
I mean, I had fun being able to use some cleric spells that because Del is our first big, mostly cleric. For those of you who are wondering, he is a cleric 9, cleric 8, paladin 3 build. So he has some fucking spells. And I get access to Crusader's Mantle, which is a paladin spell that you don't get until level 17 as a paladin. So that's always fun. And I just, the difference between Crusader's Mantle and Bless is whether or not the D4 goes on the damage or the attack.
Yeah.
And so I went with the damage because it felt, because that hits on every single attack, and we have some people who are ragers in the party.
We still have not seen Maven unleash an action surge either.
No,
I'm just imagining let's get Del and Echo into the same fight, but I think the barbarian, my brain thinks of a tank's tread and just that mowing down everything in front of her.
So there's some interesting thing. I liked the I will drop some big spells, and then I will we are going just cantrips. Listen.
Oh yeah, I was wondering why you weren't attacking, but you still have that first level of exhaustion, don't you?
Yeah. I did not. I was not rolling shit at disadvantage this entire time. I'm sorry, I forgot.
No big.
That was the main reason.
Yeah, I mean, if they're saving, then your exhaustion doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah. I'll put up things that makes it so anybody with a weapon attack does extra damage. I have blessed strikes instead of divine strikes, which means that I roll an extra D8 of radiance damage on cantrips as well. So,
nice.
Yeah. So, a toll the dead on something that's wounded for me is 3d12 plus 1d8 damage.
Yeah,
which is not nothing, guys.
Really good.
Really not nothing.
Who needs weapons with that type of damage? But yeah, so that's the kind of vibe. It's just I feel like he has a way of dealing with things, and this isn't his team. This isn't his team of spider people that are dealing with the universe issues, but it is currently the team he's working with, and he has some personal codes and stuff, but if we were using the alignment system, he's a lawful neutral.
I can see that.
I just had a realization. Like, the way you were fighting was like making the other person roll saves and just be shooting them boatloads of damage, and that's how Calder always casts a spell. So they were fighting alike. They fought the same way. We're just gonna or we just naturally fell into the same patterns because they work for us. And just the idea of like, no, we're not gonna I'm not gonna hit you. I'm just gonna lean back and let magic wreck you.
This may or may not be because Rob and I haven't actually sat down and talked magic items at all.
Yep, we'll do that.
Because, like, I don't have brain for that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot to choose from.
There was a moment where I had like the 3 werewolves on me and stuff, and I was like, I could definitely murder face the one that is between me and Maven, and like just take it out because it's damaged already, and that's like fuck ton of damage. But then I was like, if I don't hit that one, then she could probably like swoop around and get all 3.
Just like she did. Although the other one got taken down by Calder, I think, first.
But that was the intention, was to give Maven like the full
gas to go.
Let it leave that shit.
And it worked. It worked.
I feel like it worked. Because Del, when it comes to like combat, is definitely not like he's a support cleric, you know?
That's what I was thinking, that Del was more of a support class kind of.
Like, now, mind you, like, he's very much specifically a we're all in this together type cleric. So it's like, you know, you gotta keep everybody at least on a baseline.
It's the group hug cleric.
A group hug in a very damaging way, but yeah.
But yeah, that sub school of support cleric is really cool.
Yeah, I didn't
really
have a chance.
Having a good time with that. Yeah.
There's some things, like I have the ability to take a help action to like an aid action, and then also take a weapon attack with it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't wait to see more.
That is
of
absurd and rad. I want to see that now.
Yeah, I'm so here for this class.
it's a frontline cleric type that's mostly support, and it's very good.
What is the name of this of the subclass?
The subtype is Solidarity.
Ooh.
Which is from Amonkhet, the Magic the Gatherings.
The yearly thing they put out for
setting.
Amonkhet? The Unearthed Arcana thing they put out for Amonkhet?
It's technically it got like, it's official to an extent. It's not it's its own book.
Okay.
But it's not like
book.
Yeah, and I've never been worried
about.
about bringing in mechanics from other realms. Like, that doesn't bother me. So
It's
long
all
as it's
mechanics,
official,
well.
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's not. It is out of Unearthed Arcana.
I'll look into it because I love the setting.
And who's your shout out?
Oh, I was gonna give it to Jen for capitalizing on murder.
Speaking
so
of Jen,
fun.
yes, tell me more, please.
Oh my gosh. So this really is the first real bash 'em up, I think, character. I mean, Karitha has been able to do a lot of damage as she's gotten more powerful and had more things, but really, you know, having somebody who just comes right out of the bat and just participates in murder.
You did not miss one time.
No.
And you crit twice. It was a hell of a debut.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to total up the amount of damage that you did, because you averaged, I think, 27, 28 points per swing.
Yeah, my lower ones were 28, I believe.
Hey Jen, do you want to fight? Ghost? Just for funsies?
An exposition match.
An exhibition? We could do
forward-
murder to each other. It'll be great.
I'm looking forward to the absurdity that this team can get up to now.
Yeah, this feels like an absurd team. It's going to be great.
And it's funny.
We have all the classes we need for a Venn diagram of death. I'm just
Oh yeah, and this turns out to be a very, very well balanced team. Yeah, And like we didn't necessarily build it that way. And when I was talking with Jen to build Maven, that every decision we made, I was like, okay, which of these seems more like your character? And we just happened to come out with a fairly optimized killing death machine that can also protect others and cook good foods.
And cook good foods, yes.
Jen,
yeah.
anything else you wanted that you had specific fun with, and who's you're going to give your shout out to?
I mean, I did have a lot of fun with just everything. It's kind of a little side shout out, but we're gonna give a shout out to you having to deal with Sven having to be not what you were originally thinking.
I pride myself on rolling with the punches and doing, and yes-anding the players. Sometimes it leads to places I do not expect it to go.
It's Sven. He's always having to roll with the punches. That poor boy was probably punched a lot when he was young.
Yeah.
He was the crown prince. What are you talking about?
He was absolutely bullied.
That has absolutely nothing to do with that he was punched.
He was fully bullied every single day.
It was so much.
This wasn't by other kids; it was by his dad or something.
Yeah, it was by
Where's
like
brother.
Yeah. Oh, poor Sven. Oh, and he's
It's
kind
not-
of a nervous
Oh,
fellow
come
to
on.
begin with.
I
They were
think it's
young.
been
You're
awful
30,
for
40
being a
years old at
nerd.
the time.
I think Sven is going to have a lot of fun being the comedic straight man on the basic. Oh God, what is that? The Hangover. Anyone remember that movie? That's what I see Team
That's
Water
what
do.
it feels like. It really does.
That'll be a fun idea. We're gonna put a pin in that, opening in media res to a terrible thing that has occurred to us, and we have to unpack what the hell happened.
Sven
I
turns
really,
to the camera.
want to see that. That sounds like so much fun.
I bet you're wondering how I got to here.
With that voice, the Sven voice. I love the Sven voice. I think that's my favorite part. Is it's kind of like a really nervous, wibbly meepo, but it's so good. Oh God.
Oh man, great session all around. Jen, who's your shout out going to?
Shout out. I'm going to. I'm just gonna shout out 100% the grease trap Jeff and shit that's so good and seriously Olivia, if you need to absolutely do an animatic of that Looney Tunes bullshit. I really need that in my life. It's important.
We'll see.
Two of them
with the
failed.
fucking sound effects.
Yeah, it was awesome.
If we could actually, when you're editing this, if you can get a count of how many times they fell, if we get a fall counter, that'd be great.
Oh my God. That's
Love it.
So good.
Love it. Okay, I will attempt to do that, and hopefully I remembered to keep count during this live showing, which I probably didn't, but you never know. Maybe I did. Friends, that was a super fun session. I love random encounters. They add so much flavor that we can fold into the story. Maven is an incredible character. Delmain's an incredible character. I am really looking forward to seeing what these psychos do inside essentially Wonderland. It's going to be amazing. Friends, thank you for being here. Say goodbye to our chat friends.
Bye, chat.
Chat,
Bye.
say goodbye to our players.
Wait,
And,
who gets the inspo?
Oh, I'm going to give it to Maven because Delmain already has one.
I already got one.
And I was going to give it to Maven anyway, just for the majesty of that beard. Which nobody has mentioned at any point in this entire session. It is absolutely majestic. Okay, with that, we're going to head out. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
His blood splattered beard.
I know she's really the blood is. Oh.